Just want to give you a heads up here that the upcoming lesson is showing videos where I'm running Python in a tool called Python Anywhere instead of using idle, which is what we usually use. Um, so Python Anywhere is a cloud-based tool that can be used for coding and running Python, but for the rest of this class, I'd like you to stick with using idle because that's where I test your work. So just to give you a warning, all right, and now on with the show. This lesson is on how to code a simple function in Python. So you've used functions already all through the class. We've used the print function, the input function, and we're used to seeing those. So here, a function, you see print here, for example, we have the parentheses, functions always have parentheses, whether there's anything in between the parentheses are not there. The parentheses always have to be there. And when you do a print like this, when you do a print function and print comes with Python, it takes the message on the inside and it displays it on the console. How does the print function do that? We have no idea. And we don't need to have an idea. All we need to understand is this is the print function. We have to know what to pass it, like a message, and we need to understand what comes back out of it, if anything. In this case, it prints on the console. So we get that. Now, let's say for some reason I didn't want to just print the function. I didn't want to just print hello world, but I wanted to define a function that holds the print statement hello world. So a function really is just a bunch of encapsulated code. It could be one line of code, as I'm showing here, or it could be thousands and thousands of lines of code if it made sense to do that. Usually not. They're usually not that big. So you can define your own functions and you make up the name, although you don't want to pick names that are already part of Python like print. You don't want to do that. But here I'm defining a function. And so we just use DEF. You don't say define function or spell it out in any way. You just use the letters DEF. And then there's a space, and we give it a name. I name this hello underscore world. Okay, because I'm defining a function, I must put these parentheses after it. Notice there's nothing in the parentheses. It's all right. We're going to learn in later lessons when it would be a good idea to put something in the parentheses. But for right now, we just put the parentheses around it. So with the def, the name, and the open and close parentheses, that's enough to say we are now we're defining a function called hello world that we can call in other parts of our program, just like we're calling the print function here. Now you'll see that terminology used everywhere, calling a function. Now, that just means telling the function to go run. When you see a print and hello world, it tells the function print that comes with Python, go do your thing. Go do the code that's in the print function. Again, we have no idea what code's in the print function. And since we didn't code it, we don't have to know. We just have to know to use it. Okay? But here, when you define your own, you of course do need to understand how to build it, what you want it to do, if you want any data to come in it, if you want anything to come out of it, you need to understand that. So this is super, super simple. We have a new function, hello world, print hello world. Now, I want you to notice something. I didn't really do enough here. I'm going to run this just as is, okay? I'll hit the run button, and the console thing comes up, blah, 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 and we get nothing. Let's get a little cursor there afterward. The reason we get nothing at all when we run this is defining a function, like I just did, doesn't run the function. You have to call the function to get it to run. Okay, so defining a function just puts it out there in the world, ready for somebody to call it and use it. And you could use it in multiple places in your program, and it would come back to this definition and run the code that's defined below the line that defines it. Now, Python makes great use of indenting, so you can't do this. You have to indent the code underneath the function. We have a colon here like we would in an if statement or in a looping statement. Same kind of idea. So I'll show you more complicated functions later, but right now, just this one thing. So I'm going to pull in a file where we're going to get something to run. Okay, so let me do that. Go to my files area, pull this in, and a bunch of files, so we're going to pull in that one. Okay, so now here's the difference. It's got the same definition of hello world and the same print hello world. That just defines it. But the next line of code after the blank line says hello world, paren, paren. This calls the function. It says find the code that's below this definition and run it. So it should just print hello world. Let's run it and see what it does. And we'll go in here. It's always nice. There we go. Hello world. So it worked. So this is an absolute necessary thing to happen. Something has to say, go do the function. Again, the techie word that they use in the text, everything is call the function. That means go execute the code. All right. So this is a super, super basic lesson on functions.